Okay, Butter, here's what you need in order to do this. You need 1 bag of Southern Biscuit Formula L mix. You want to get the Formula L mix. It's in the bread section at Food Line, but that's the restaurant style bread. You need at least a pint of cultured buttermilk. You'll find that in the milk section, all milk sections in grocery stores. And then you'll need some non-stick spray, pan spray. You probably might have some of that, but just in case you don't. There's one thing that I left off that I wanted to have added in here is this. You're going to spray this on the biscuit after they're done, hot and done. You can do it with regular stick butter, but this is, I can't believe it's not butter, but that's what gives it that little extra taste once it comes out. This is what you're going to need at home to make this with. You're going to need a bowl to mix in your flour and milk with, buttermilk with, a spoon to mix it. I like to use a trash bag like you've seen me do before so I don't make a mess. You will need a pan to put the bread on, and then you're going to need, I don't think I covered that, a 1/3 cup. What I want to do there is breaking that to you where you can just make a few, but the 1/3 cup, and I'm going to tell you how many times you use it for different things, okay? Almost forgot. Something round that you can cut the biscuits out with. Okay, big boy. The key to making Dad's buttermilk biscuit is the next thing you have to do is set the oven on bake in 400 degrees and let it warm up. Nope. Okay, if you remember, that's the one thing I like to do so I don't make a mess, because making biscuits are easy. Well, they're easy, but they're hard to make without making some kind of mess. Okay? And then next thing I do is I get my pan spray right here, and I spray it onto the baking sheet, like so. And the main reason you're doing that is so the biscuits won't stick. Okay? See that? Thing you do, and you go ahead and do this just so you can get it out of the way. And you know, there's not too much that you have to put out there, but you want to go ahead and pour out some of that flour so when you start making out those biscuits, that it doesn't stick to the plastic. The main reason you're doing that is just to keep that, because when you get it out of this bowl here in a second, when you get it out of the bowl, it's going to want to stick. Spread it out. It's not going to hurt. It's going to get in your hands. It's not nasty, okay? Okay, Dylan, so this is probably going to make you about, I don't know, 4 or 5 biscuits, maybe more. But use 1/3 cup right here, and we're going to get 3 scoops of flour with 1 scoop of buttermilk. You got me? So that's why I was saying that pint. That's small milk. You don't have to get as big as the quart like I had before if you're just going to make a small batch. So it really depends on how many you're going to make. But for this purposes, for you may make 4 or 5 biscuits. It may make 4 real tall ones, or 5 or 6 small. It just really depends on how you're cutting it. This right here, this is about probably, I don't know, 3 inches around. So I'm only going to get about 4 biscuits out of that, okay? But so if you want 8, then you have to just double everything I'm just telling you here. Okay? So this next part, Dylan, you don't have to be exact, but like I was saying before, you need 3 cups of flour with 3 1/3 cups of flour. This is 1/3 cups, 3 of these, and only 1/3 cup of milk. So just sit down. Now see, I just 1. And it doesn't have to be too exact. And you can see I'm making a mess here. I was trying to do this where I can video for you. 2, that ain't all the way full, so make sure you get a good heat. This next go around, that's 3. Okay? Once again, it doesn't have to be exact, okay? So the next thing you do is the 1/3 cup of milk. Pour it in. That's it. That's all you got to do right there. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next step. And just to tell you, I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to mix the biscuit. Now, if you use the 3 1/3 cups of flour and the 1/3 cup of buttermilk, it should be the right mix. But what I'm looking for is it to be just moist and mixed together. And you don't want to overdo this. But see, like right now, it's still kind of dry. So I'm going to pour, and this is the old country, cooking chef way here. I'll pour just a little bit more on, and it's just really just so I can get it just moist, kind of like a, well, I was going to say like concrete, but not that level. But mainly you want to make sure that all the flour just mixed together like into a putty or paste. Maybe like clay is the best thing to say. And see that? And see, now you can see that it's mixed all the way through, even down to the bottom, okay? I think if you don't put enough buttermilk in one, if you try to make it, it'll look all dry. It'll look like still like flowers in it, but you can see this. It's all pasty. That's what you're looking for, okay? Hey, Dylan, now that you've gotten it, it mixed in here, what you want to do is you want to get things so you won't make too much of a mess, because now your hands are fixing to get nasty. So you want to make sure that you have everything you need while your hands are still clean to get all this stuff put together, okay? It's okay if you forget something, it's just your hands are going to be nasty. And another thing I like to do, you can see right here's my plastic with the bread mix sitting on there. I also like to have the pan that I'm going to put the biscuits on close to me, that way I'm not leaning over and making a mess either, okay? So that's always key for you, to keep things as clean as possible. And the good news is our oven is already at 400. Okay, DJ, here's the part that you got right here. It's real simple. I'm going to take all that biscuit mix, and you see it's just like a little, I run it through when I ran it in a circle. It came out like a big old turd pie. And that's what you wanted. Okay? You can see it right here. And look, your fingers, make sure your hands are clean. That's the way those guys at Bojangles do it. You just don't know it any better. That's just, they don't show you that they're putting their fingers in stuff. My hands were clean for this, so here we go. I get some on my hands. Take it through, that way it's not gonna stick in my hands. I'll pour just a little bit on top, and it's gonna see it's kind of mushy. I'll flip it over once. I'll flip it over one more time, okay? And then I'll push it down. And you really don't and they call that kneading. You don't need to knead it a lot. What height I'm trying to get to on this one, I'm not gonna make as many biscuits as I thought. This is gonna make me a couple. I was hoping for maybe 4. So I might go with something just a little bit smaller so I can make more biscuits, okay? I'm gonna wash my hands, and I'm gonna come back and do this again with a top of a 20 ounce. And I'll show you how to do that to make a cutter, because this is about 3 inches. I'm not gonna do that. It could be too much. So I can have something that I'm gonna make to cut with. I prefer the top, because when you go to push down, the air is gonna come through, but this is a 12-ounce bottle. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut right about here, equal all the way around, so I can get a straight cut. And I'll come back here. Okay, I can edit. And don't do this with a knife, because you'll stick this through your hand and you have to go to the hospital. This ain't gonna be too easy, but see, now I've got my scissors cut in, and I prefer that you do use scissors, because we have no desire to take you to the emergency room tonight. You can see I'm just trying to cut right along that little seam there. And what this will do is this will make a smaller biscuit. Still look good. Still will be good too. That way you still have that browning around it as well. So now, here's what you got. See? Perfectly round, straight across the edge. Real simple. You got me? Okay, all right, I'll be right back. Okay, Dylan, here's the next step. You want to get a little bit of flour on it. And typically the first one, there's not going to be anything. You're going to cut right through it. But all I do is I start from the corner. You see where I set it out, but you want to do it from the corner so you can get as many as you can cut off this off one run at a time. Okay? The depth of the flour right now, Dylan, that's up to you depending upon how tall you want the biscuit to be. I would say that this right now is about a 1/2 inch thick. So it's not going to be a big fat cat head. But if you wanted to go like something big like Bojangles, then you'd want to go probably 3/4 inch. And then we'd need to change your formula. But everything would stay the same. I'll just tell you how to make a much bigger mix if you want to do that. But main thing now is what we'll do is we're going to cut it out. But even you can do this to kind of tell how many cuts you're gonna get on your biscuits. Got me? So right now I can tell I'm getting 3 out of this one. So let's go ahead and go with it. I'm gonna slide over just a little bit more to try and get a good cut to where I can get the biscuit out. I slide it over and it falls. You see how easily it just fell off into my hand. Got my pan right here. I'm just gonna set it right in the pan, and I'll come back to it after I cut them, so you can see what I did. But once again, I come right back, do it again. It's just all go and repeat. And we'll go ahead and get to the last one right here and push it off. There you go. And then what I'm gonna do is take this flour, Dylan. If you remember, this isn't waste. You don't throw it away. One, you just take it, pat it up, and throw it on there. It's just not gonna be pretty as the others. But what I like to do is go ahead and knead it again. Make it flat. Knead it right just like this. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Knead it just like this. Fold it back over. Just keep going. Now this one, I don't know, at least I want one more out of this. Okay. I think this is going, since this is going to be this way right here, I'm going to make a thick, I'm going to see how this one comes out, like a big thick Bojangles biscuit right here, big guy. And you know, if you notice that the bread is sticking to the, the flour sticking to the cutter, all you got to do is in between, put a little dry flour on there, and then that way what it'll do is it'll tear right off when you cut through it. And I'll show you how easy it'll come through. So how easy that was, it just come off in my hand. I take it, I set it back on my tray. And this one's not going to be much of anything, but I'm going to go ahead and pat this thing out and make a funky biscuit. And you'll see how it looks here in a while. See, I just pat it out in my hands. I had flour on my hands so it didn't stick. Flip it over, knead. And I'm just going to put it on the tray. So now that I'm done, I'll let you see. There's my biscuits. What I've learned, the best way to do this is just go ahead and put about 2 inches if you want to rise unstuck, and it'll come up like a Bojangles biscuit. You got me? Okay, Dylan, so now that I mentioned, okay, start break. Now that I mentioned that, you know, I've already got these cut on the tray, I've already had them sprayed. All I gotta do now is put them in the oven. The oven's already warm, the buzzer went off. And you want to keep these in the oven until golden brown, and at 400 degrees, at normally between that 10 and 12 minute mark, depending upon the oven itself. Some ovens are a little bit hotter, run a little cooler. So you'll just have to periodically, once you put it in the oven, leave it in the oven for the first 8 minutes, but then you probably, every minute after that, just look, and you're looking for just that golden brown. Like I told you before, the next thing is just to clean up. If you pick it up by the corners, just like that, and roll it up into a ball, you're done without making a mess hardly at all. Okay? I'm just going to take a real quick check. After 6 minutes, you can see that they're rising. Maybe I didn't record that. I don't know. What I did was, Dylan, I can't think now. I just hit the button and now it just started recording. So what I did was I took it out of the oven after 11 minutes. And in case I didn't record that, I pulled it out, got the tray out, and I used butter spray to spray on the top of the biscuits. Okay? And now you're done.